almost didn't go to the cemetery that Thursday. My shift at St. Catherine's Hospital had run long, a patient coding in the ER, then paperwork that seemed endless. But I'd promised myself I'd visit Dad's grave once a week, and I was already 3 days late. The October wind cut through my scrubs as I walked through the iron gates. I clutched the cheap bodega flowers tighter. Ever since Dad's construction accident 18 months ago, money had been tight. Mom's drinking had gotten worse. My younger brother Tyler had dropped out of college to help with bills. And me? I was drowning in Dad's medical debt while working double shifts as an ER nurse. That's when I heard it. Not crying exactly, more like the sound of a man trying to breathe through broken ribs. Before we dive deeper, if you're enjoying this story, I'd be incredibly grateful if you'd subscribe to help me reach 1,000 subscribers. Your support means everything to me. I'd also love to know, where in the world are you listening from? Drop a comment below. I looked over. About 30 feet away, a man in an expensive black coat sat collapsed against a small headstone. His shoulders shook violently. In his hand, he held a child's stuffed rabbit, worn and faded. 3 people walked past him on the path. An elderly couple physically crossed to the other side. A groundskeeper saw him and actually reversed his cart, taking a different route entirely. Something about that, the way everyone avoided him like he was radioactive, made my nurse instincts kick in. I'd seen this before in the ER. People who looked difficult or dangerous getting ignored while they suffered. I walked over slowly, keeping my distance. Hey. Are you okay? Do you need me to call someone? His head snapped up. Dark eyes, red-rimmed and wild. A face that would have been handsome if it wasn't twisted in agony. There was something else there too, surprise. Like he couldn't believe someone had actually approached him. You should go, he said, his voice gravel rough. Before someone sees you. Why would that matter? He laughed, a broken, bitter sound. Because I'm Dante Russo. And people who talk to me have a tendency to regret it. The name meant nothing to me. I'd been working 70-hour weeks for months. I barely had time to watch the news, let alone keep up with local crime figures. Well, I'm Naomi. And I'm a nurse. So my job is literally not leaving people when they're in distress. I sat down on the grass, a respectful distance away. You don't have to talk. But I'm not leaving you alone like this. He stared at me like I'd grown a second head. You have no idea who I am. Nope. Should I? Everyone in Boston does. I work nights in the ER. I barely know what day it is, let alone local drama. I pulled my coat tighter. But ain't no grief when I see it. Lost someone. His jaw clenched. For a long moment, I thought he wouldn't answer. Then, my daughter. Sophia. She was 6. Leukemia. He looked down at the stuffed rabbit. This was hers. Mr. Hoppy. She slept with it every night at the hospital. Said he kept the monsters away. My chest tightened. I'm so sorry. When did she? 4 months ago. His voice cracked. I thought I could save her. I have money, connections, access to the best doctors in the world. But none of it mattered. I couldn't save my own child. I knew that feeling. The helplessness. I'd felt it watching Dad slip away after the accident, knowing all my medical training couldn't fix a severed spine and internal bleeding. My dad died a year and a half ago, I said quietly. Construction accident. I was working in the ER when they brought him in. Had to watch other nurses try to save him because I wasn't allowed to treat family. I swallowed hard. The grief doesn't get smaller. You just get bigger around it. Learn to carry it. Something shifted in his expression. He looked at me, really looked, for the first time. You're not afraid of me. Should I be? Most people are. Well, most people haven't held someone's hand while they died at 3 a.m. Fear is relative. I checked my watch. I have about 20 minutes before I need to head home. If you want to talk about her, I'll listen. And he did. For those 20 minutes, Dante Russo, whoever he was, told me about Sophia. How she loved drawing butterflies. How she'd been braver than him during chemo. How she'd asked him not to be sad when she was gone, but he couldn't help it. When my alarm went off, I stood reluctantly. I have to go. My brother's waiting for dinner. But, I pulled out a hospital business card and scribbled my cell number on the back. If you ever need to talk again. Sometimes it helps. He took the card like it was something precious. Why did you stop? Really? Because everyone else walked away. And I've learned that the people everyone else ignores are usually the ones who need help the most. I left him sitting there, feeling his eyes on my back the whole way to my car. 3 days later, my life imploded. I came home from my shift to find my apartment door kicked in. My heart stopped. Tyler. My 20-year-old brother stumbled out of his room, blood streaming from his nose, being dragged by 2 men I'd never seen before. Naomi, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. One of the men, bald, tattooed, dead-eyed, looked at me. You Naomi Carter. Let him go. I grabbed my phone. I'm calling the police. The man laughed. Go ahead. Tell them your brother owes Marcus Volkov $50,000. Gambling debts. Due yesterday. The phone slipped from my hand. 50,000. Tyler, what did you do? My brother's face crumpled. I thought I could win it back. The money for Dad's bills. I thought. You thought you'd gamble away money we don't have. My voice rose to a shriek. The bald man shoved Tyler toward me. You got 1 week. 50 grand plus interest, 60 total. Or we start taking payments in other ways. His eyes crawled over me in a way that made my skin crawl. Brother's organs are worth about 30 grand on the black market. We'll get creative for the rest. They left. I sank to the floor, pulling Tyler into my arms as he sobbed apologies. $60,000. I had maybe 800 in my checking account. Student loans were crushing me. Dad's medical bills had wiped out everything. We were dead. The next morning, exhausted and desperate, I found myself back at the cemetery. I don't know why. Maybe because it was the only place I'd felt peace recently. Maybe because I was hoping for some sign from Dad about what to do. I wasn't expecting to find Dante Russo there again, same spot, same time. He looked up as I approached. You came back. I come every week. Thursdays. I sat down heavily on a nearby bench. Sorry. Bad day. Actually, bad life. Didn't mean to interrupt. His eyes sharpened. What happened? Nothing. Family stuff. I forced a smile. How are you doing? Don't deflect. You helped me. Let me return the favor. He stood, walking over. Up close, I could see he was younger than I'd thought, mid-30s maybe. And there was something dangerous in the way he moved. Controlled. Coiled. Tell me. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was desperation. But I found myself spilling everything. Tyler's gambling. The debt. The threats. The impossible situation. Dante's expression went cold. Deadly. Marcus Volkov sent men to your home. You know him. Everyone in my world knows him. He's a bottom feeder. Preys on desperate people, charges illegal interest, deals in human trafficking when debts can't be paid. His jaw clenched. He sent men to threaten you. A nurse. An innocent. My brother got into this mess. Your brother is a stupid kid who made a mistake. Volkov is a predator who should know better than to target civilians. He pulled out his phone. What's your address? Why? Because I'm fixing this. I stood quickly. No. Whatever you're thinking, no. I don't need, I'll figure something out. Extra shifts, maybe alone. Naomi. His voice stopped me cold. Look at me. I did. Those dark eyes held something fierce and uncompromising. I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to really hear me. Marcus Volkov operates in Boston because people like me allow it. He stays in his lane, follows certain rules, and we don't interfere with his business. But threatening you. His voice dropped. That breaks the rules. Because you helped me when no one else would. That makes you mine to protect. I'm not yours. Poor word choice. You're under my protection. Whether you want it or not. He was already texting. The debt is gone. Your brother will receive a visit tonight explaining that any future gambling will have consequences he won't enjoy. Volkov will be reminded of boundaries he shouldn't cross. I can't let you do this. I don't even know you. He looked up from his phone. You know I lost my daughter. You know I sit in a cemetery and cry. You know I needed kindness and you gave it without asking for anything in return. That's more than most people in my life know. He stepped closer. I'm not a good man, Naomi. I do things that would horrify you. But I pay my debts. You gave me something precious, compassion when I was broken. Let me give you something in return. Your brother's safety. And what do you want from me? His smile was sharp. Have dinner with me. Let me explain who I am and what it means that I've decided you're important to me. Then you can make an informed choice about whether you want me in your life. Every instinct screamed this was a bad idea. But $60,000 in debt. Tyler's life threatened. No other options. One dinner, I agreed. One dinner, he confirmed. Tomorrow night. I'll send a car. When I got home, Tyler was pacing frantically. Naomi, these guys just came by. They said the debt is cleared. All of it. Said I should consider myself lucky and never gamble again or I'd learn the hard way. What did you do? I collapsed on our threadbare couch. I think I just made a deal with the devil. My best friend and roommate, Jasmine, came out of her bedroom. She'd been eerily quiet since the break-in. Who was it? Who cleared the debt? Some guy I met at the cemetery. Dante Russo. Jasmine's face went white. Are you fucking insane? You know him. Know him. Naomi, he's the head of the Russo crime family. They run half of Boston's underground. Drugs, gambling, protection rackets, money laundering. She grabbed my shoulders. He's not just some mobster. He's the mobster. My stomach dropped. He seemed sad. Grieving. I'm sure Hitler loved his dog too. Jasmine started pacing. This is bad. Really bad. You don't want to owe Dante Russo anything. I'm having dinner with him tomorrow. No. Absolutely not. He cleared $60,000 of debt, Jazz. What am I supposed to do, ghost him? Tyler sank onto the couch beside me. This is my fault. I'm so sorry. I'll figure something out. You'll do nothing, I said firmly. You'll go to the community college meetings I signed you up for. You'll get your life together. And you'll never gamble again. Got it? He nodded miserably. That night, I couldn't sleep. I researched Dante Russo on my phone. The results were terrifying. Federal investigations. Suspected murders. Money laundering charges that never stuck. A wife who died under mysterious circumstances 5 years ago. Wait, no. That was wrong. I dug deeper. His wife, Teresa, hadn't died. She'd left him after their daughter was diagnosed with leukemia. Filed for divorce, moved to California, and hadn't been seen at Sophia's funeral. She'd abandoned him and their dying child. Something in my chest twisted. No wonder he'd been so broken in that cemetery. The car that picked me up the next night wasn't what I expected. I'd imagined something flashy and obvious. Instead, it was a simple black sedan driven by a woman in her 50s with kind eyes. I'm Rosa, she said. Mr. Russo's housekeeper. He wanted me to drive you so you'd feel more comfortable. That small gesture, understanding I might be afraid, caught me off guard. Rosa drove me to a restaurant I'd passed 100 times but could never afford. The kind with a 6-month waiting list. But we didn't go through the front door. She led me through a side entrance to a private room where Dante waited. He stood when I entered, and I noticed he dressed down, just black slacks and a simple button-down. Trying not to intimidate me, I realized. "You came," he said. "You paid off $60,000. Seemed rude not to show up." I sat down across from him, keeping the table between us. "So, let's hear it. Who exactly are you, and what have I gotten myself into?" He didn't sugarcoat it. For the next hour, Dante laid out his life with brutal honesty. The family business he'd inherited at 25 when his father was killed. The legitimate operations, construction, restaurants, real estate, that funded the illegal ones. The gambling, the loan sharking, the protection money. The violence that came with the territory. "I've killed 3 men," he said flatly. "All in self-defense or defense of my people, but I pulled the trigger. I've ordered hits on 2 others, both men who hurt children. I've broken bones, burned buildings, and destroyed lives when people crossed lines they shouldn't have crossed." My hands trembled around my water glass. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you deserve to know what I am before you decide if you want me in your life." He leaned forward. "But I also need you to understand something. I have rules. Lines I don't cross. I don't touch drugs, I've seen what they do to communities. I don't traffic people. I don't hurt civilians who aren't in the game. And I don't hurt children. Ever. Those are pretty low bars for morality. They're the only bars I've got left." His voice roughened. "When Sophia got sick, I tried to go legitimate. Started selling off operations, distancing myself from the family business. Thought maybe if I was a better man, God or fate or whatever would let her live." He laughed bitterly. "She died anyway. And I learned that being good doesn't protect you from pain. So you went back to being bad. I went back to being useful. I donate to children's hospitals now. Anonymously. Fund cancer research. I can't save my daughter, but maybe I can save someone else's." He met my eyes. "Does that make up for the bad things I do?" "No. But it's something." I thought about that. About the gray areas in life. In the ER, I'd learned that people weren't simply good or bad. The sweet grandmother who needed stitches might have been fleeing an abusive relationship she'd stayed in for 40 years. The tattooed gang member might have taken a bullet protecting his little sister. "Why me?" I asked. "Why do you care about helping me?" "Because you're the first person in 4 months who's looked at me like I'm human. Everyone else sees a monster or a meal ticket. You saw a grieving father." He paused. "And because you remind me there's still good in the world. I need that. Desperately." A server brought our food. I hadn't even noticed us ordering. As we ate, Dante asked about my life. Really asked. About nursing school, about Dad's accident, about Tyler's struggle since dropping out. "He feels like he failed your father," Dante observed. "That's why he gambled. Trying to fix something that can't be fixed." "How do you know that?" "Because I did the same thing after Sophia died. Threw money at charities, started foundations, anything to feel like I had control. Like I could fix something." He looked down at his plate. "Grief makes us stupid. Your brother needs therapy, not blame. Therapy costs money. I have a therapist on retainer for my people. Trauma specialist. I'll send you her information. First 3 months are on me. I can't keep accepting your help." "Yes, you can. Stop fighting me on this, Naomi. I have more money than I'll ever spend. Let me use it for something good." After dinner, he drove me home himself. As we pulled up to my building, I noticed Tyler watching from the window, phone in hand like he was ready to call for help if needed. "Your brother's protective," Dante noted. "Good. He should be. He's terrified I'm in danger. He's not wrong to worry. Being associated with me does put a target on you. My enemies might try to use you to get to me. He turned to face me. That's why I need to be honest about what happens next. If you want nothing to do with me, I'll respect that. The debt stays cleared, no strings. But you won't have my protection either. And if I do want to see you again, then you get security. Full time. My men watching your building, escorting you to work, making sure you're safe. It'll be invasive and annoying. But it'll keep you alive. I should have said no. Should have thanked him for dinner and walked away. But there was something magnetic about Dante Russo. The way he looked at me like I mattered. Like I was precious. After 18 months of drowning in grief and debt and exhaustion, someone was offering to catch me. Can I think about it? Of course. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a phone, brand new, still in the box. Untraceable. Has one number programmed in, mine. If you ever need anything, day or night, you call that number. Even if you decide you don't want to see me again. Promise me. I took the phone. Dante, why are you doing all this? Because Sophia's last words to me were, be good, Daddy. And I haven't been able to figure out how to do that in the world I live in. His voice cracked. But helping you. Protecting you. That feels good. That feels like maybe I'm not completely damned. I squeezed his hand. You're not damned. You're just hurt. There's a difference. His fingers tightened around mine. Have lunch with me next week. Let me show you something. What? Something that might help you understand who I'm trying to be. Lunch the following Tuesday wasn't at a restaurant. Dante picked me up in the same understated sedan and drove to Boston Children's Hospital. Why are we here? I asked as we walked through the lobby. You'll see. He led me to the pediatric oncology wing. The nurses greeted him by name. Kids in wheelchairs and hospital gowns lit up when they saw him. Mr. Dante. A little boy, maybe 7, with no hair and an 4-pole, came racing over. You came back. Promised I would, didn't I, Carlos? Dante knelt down to the boy's level. Brought someone special with me. This is Naomi. She's a nurse. For the next 2 hours, I watched Dante Russo, ruthless crime boss, play video games with cancer patients. He'd brought gift bags filled with toys, books, and games. He knew every child's name, their diagnosis, their favorite colors. He sat with parents who looked as exhausted as I'd felt watching Dad die, and he listened. In the hallway, a nurse named Patricia pulled me aside. He comes every Tuesday. Has for 4 months, since his daughter passed. Donated the entire new wing, $2 million. Won't let them put his name on anything. My throat tightened. He never mentioned this. That's Dante. Does good things, won't take credit. Does bad things, takes all the blame. She smiled sadly. His little girl died here. Most people would hate this place. He keeps coming back to help other kids. When we left, I was quiet in the car. Dante glanced over. Changed your mind about me. Made it more complicated. I turned to face him. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? A monster. Someone easy to hate. Would that be simpler? Much. I smiled slightly. But I don't do simple apparently. My best friend thinks I'm insane. My brother thinks you're going to traffic me. And I'm sitting here thinking you might be the most confusing person I've ever met. Good confusing or bad confusing? I don't know yet. He pulled up to my building. I won't push you, Naomi. Take all the time you need. But know this, I'm interested. Very interested. Not just because you were kind to me, but because you're strong and smart and you don't take my shit. I haven't felt this alive since before Sophia got sick. Dante. I know. Too much, too soon. Story of my life. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. Call me when you're ready. Or don't. I'll respect whatever you decide. I got out of the car and made it halfway to my building before turning back. He was still there, watching to make sure I got inside safely. I walked back and knocked on his window. He rolled it down, surprise in his eyes. "I want to see you again," I said. "But slow. I need slow." The smile that spread across his face was genuine this time. "I can do slow. And I have conditions." "Name them." "You don't pay for everything. You don't solve all my problems. And you're honest with me, always. Even when the truth is ugly." "Deal." He caught my hand, pressing a kiss to my knuckles. "Thank you for taking a chance on me." I squeezed his hand and walked away, feeling his eyes on me until I was safely inside. Tyler pounced the moment I walked in. So, I'm seeing him again. Naomi. I know it's crazy. Trust me, I know. I collapsed on the couch. But he's not what everyone thinks. Or maybe he is, but he's also more than that. I don't know, Ty. I just know I can't walk away yet. Jasmine came out of her room, her face pale. "We need to talk. Now." Something in her voice made my stomach drop. "What's wrong?" She sat down across from me, hands shaking. "I have a gambling problem too. Worse than Tyler's. I owe money to Viktor Volkov, Marcus's brother. $40,000. The room spun. "Jazz, what the hell? I've been betting online. Sports, poker, everything. I thought I could win it back." Tears streamed down her face. "Victor's men came to my work yesterday. Gave me 1 week. I didn't tell you because I knew you were dealing with Tyler's mess and I thought I could handle it." "Does Dante know the Volkovs?" I asked Tyler. "According to what I've read online, they're rivals. The Russos control South Boston, the Volkovs control East Boston. They've been at war for territory for years." My mind raced. If I asked Dante to help Jasmine, I'd be asking him to cross into rival territory, start a conflict. But if I didn't, my best friend since nursing school was going to end up dead or worse. "I have to call him," I said, reaching for the untraceable phone. Jasmine grabbed my wrist. "No. I won't let you get deeper into this world because of me. You don't have a choice. Neither do I." I pulled up Dante's number. "We're family, Jazz. I'm not letting them hurt you." He answered on the first ring. "Naomi. What's wrong? I need your help. And it's going to cost you more than money." Dante came to my apartment within 30 minutes. Tyler fled to his room the moment he arrived, but Jasmine stood her ground, arms crossed defensively. "Tell me everything," Dante said, sitting across from us in our cramped living room. Jasmine laid it out, the gambling, the debts, Viktor Volkov's threats. Dante's expression grew darker with every word. "Viktor," he said finally, "is even worse than his brother Marcus. Smarter, more vicious, and he hates me personally. 3 years ago, I killed his cousin in self-defense. He's been looking for an excuse to start a war ever since." "Then I won't ask you to help," Jasmine said quietly. "This is my mess. Too late. You're Naomi's family, which means you're under my protection now." He pulled out his phone. "But this isn't going to be as simple as paying off the debt. Viktor will see it as weakness, as me encroaching on his territory. There will be consequences." "What kind of consequences?" I asked, my voice barely a whisper. "The kind that might get people killed." He looked at me steadily. "Including possibly me. Is your friend worth that risk to you?" My heart hammered. This was real. Not romance, not some fantasy. Real violence. Real death. But I looked at Jasmine, who'd held me while I cried over Dad's grave, who'd given me her last $20 for groceries, who'd been my sister in everything but blood for 6 years, and I knew the answer. "Yes," I said. "She's worth it." Dante nodded slowly. "Then we do this the smart way. I call in favors, negotiate, find leverage. It'll take time, maybe a week or two. In the meantime, Jasmine moves in with you if she isn't already, and you both get security. 24/7. No arguments. I can't afford, Jasmine started. You're not paying. This is what I do. I protect my people. He stood. Pack a bag, both of you. You're staying at one of my properties until this is settled. Absolutely not, I said. I have work, I have patience. Then you'll commute from a secure location with armed guards. Naomi, listen to me. He crouched in front of me, hands on my knees. Viktor Volkov is not Marcus. He won't just threaten. He'll act. And once he knows you matter to me, which he will, the second I interfere with his business, you become a target. A way to hurt me. I barely know you. Why would he think I matter? His eyes held mine. Because I've been seen with you. Because I paid off your brother's debt. Because I'm about to go to war over your best friend. Every person in my world will know you matter to me. Which means every enemy I have will know it too. The weight of that settled over me like a lead blanket. This wasn't a fairy tale. This was real danger, real consequences for real people. What have I done? I whispered. Made a choice to help people you love. There's no shame in that. His voice softened. But now you need to let me help you stay alive while you do it. Please, Naomi. Trust me on this. I looked at Jasmine, who nodded reluctantly. Okay. But I'm not abandoning my patients. I'll commute to work, I'll deal with the guards, but I'm not hiding. I wouldn't expect anything less. He pulled out his phone, texting rapidly. Rosa will be here in 20 minutes with a security team. Pack light, anything you need we can get. Tyler emerged from his room, pale but determined. I'm coming too. No, I said immediately. Yes. This is my fault. If I hadn't gambled in the first place, you wouldn't have met him, wouldn't be in danger. Tyler's voice cracked. I'm not letting you face this alone. Dante studied my brother. How old are you? 20. You in school? Community college. Starting spring semester. Good. Keep it that way. You come with us, you take online classes if needed, and you start seeing Dr. Chin, my therapist. You deal with your guilt and your impulse control issues. That's how you help your sister. By getting your shit together so she doesn't have to worry about you on top of everything else. Tyler nodded, chastened. Dante's property turned out to be a brownstone in Beacon Hill with a security system that looked military grade. Rosa met us there, immediately fussing over getting us settled. The master bedroom is Mr. Russo's, she explained, but he won't be staying here while you are. You and your friend take the second and third bedrooms. Your brother can have the guest room on the fourth floor. Where will Dante stay? I asked. His downtown apartment, most likely. He wants you comfortable, and he knows having him here might make that difficult. That small consideration, giving up his own home so I'd feel safe, did something to my heart I wasn't ready to examine. Over the next 3 days, life became surreal. Armed guards escorted me to and from my hospital shifts. Jasmine couldn't go to her job at the accounting firm, too exposed, so she worked remotely from the brownstone. Tyler started his online classes and actually showed up for his first therapy appointment. And Dante. Dante was everywhere and nowhere. He'd text me throughout the day, asterisk how's your shift? Eat lunch yet? Rosa made your favorite soup asterisk, but he never came to the house. Giving me space, I realized. Not pushing. On the fourth night, I called him. I miss you, I said, surprising myself with the honesty. Yeah. His voice was warm. Miss you too, Tesoro. What does that mean? You called me that before. Treasure. It's what you are to me. My heart fluttered. How's the Volkov situation? Complicated. Viktor won't negotiate. Says Jasmine's debt is his business, and if I interfere, it's a declaration of war. He sighed. I'm trying to find leverage. Something to make him back down without bloodshed. And if you can't? Silence. Dante. Then I'll do what's necessary to keep you and yours safe. Even if it costs me. Don't, I whispered. Don't get yourself killed over my friend's gambling debt. It's not about the debt anymore, Naomi. It's about you. About the fact that you're mine to protect now, whether we're together or not. I claimed you the moment I paid Tyler's debt. That's how my world works. I didn't ask to be claimed. I know. But you're stuck with me anyway. His voice softened. Come to dinner tomorrow night. Just you and me. I need to see you. Where? Here. My downtown place. I'll cook. You cook. Sophia taught me. Well, she supervised while I followed her orders. She was very bossy for a 6-year-old. The love in his voice when he talked about his daughter made my chest ache. Okay. Dinner tomorrow. I'll send a car. 7 o'clock. Dante's downtown apartment was stunning, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the harbor, modern furniture, artwork that probably cost more than my yearly salary. But what caught my attention was the wall of photos in the living room. Sophia. Hundreds of photos of her. Laughing, playing, sleeping in a hospital bed with that stuffed rabbit. Growing up in frozen moments. I can't take them down, Dante said quietly behind me. Some people think it's unhealthy. That I should move on. But she's my daughter. I don't want to move on. I just want to learn to live with the hole she left. I turned to him. My apartment has a whole wall of photos of Dad. Mom thought I was crazy to move in somewhere new and immediately cover a wall with pictures of a dead person. But it helps. Keeping them visible. Remembering they were real. He pulled me into his arms, the first time he'd really held me. I melted into him, feeling the solid warmth of his chest, the steady beat of his heart. How are you holding up? He murmured into my hair. Terrified. Confused. Weirdly okay considering I'm basically under mob protection. You're handling it better than most would. I work in an inner-city ER. I'm used to violence and chaos. I pulled back to look at him. But this is different. In the ER, I can save people. Here, I'm the one who needs saving. I hate it. Then help me save your friend. Tell me everything you know about Jasmine's gambling. When it started, why, what her triggers are. We sat on his couch, eating the pasta he'd made, delicious, surprisingly, and I told him everything. How Jasmine's father had gambled away their family home when she was 16. How she'd sworn she'd never be like him, but stress from work had triggered old patterns. How she'd been ashamed to ask for help until it was too late. Addiction runs in families, Dante observed. She needs treatment, not judgment. Says the man who runs illegal gambling operations. His jaw tightened. I don't prey on addicts. My casinos ban known problem gamblers, offer resources, set spending limits. I'm not a saint, Naomi, but I'm not Victor either. He targets vulnerable people, gets them hooked, then bleeds them dry. Is that what happened to Tyler? Did someone target him? Maybe. Probably. Young guy, grieving his father, desperate to fix his family's problems. He's exactly the type predators look for. Dante's expression was grim. Which is why I'm going to make sure he learns to spot the manipulation. So it never happens again. We talked late into the night. About morality and gray areas. About whether someone who did bad things could still be a good person. About grief and guilt and the weight of responsibility. I'm falling for you, I said finally, wine honest and tired. And I don't know if that makes me stupid or brave or just desperate for someone to care about me. Dante's eyes darkened. It makes you mine. Completely, utterly mine. And I'm falling for you too, Naomi Carter. So hard and fast it terrifies me. Because caring about someone means they can be used against me. Means I have a weakness my enemies can exploit. So what do? We're careful. We're smart. And we accept that this thing between us is dangerous and complicated and probably a terrible idea. He cupped my face. And then we do it anyway. Because I haven't felt this alive since Sophia died. Because you make me want to be better. Because walking away from you isn't an option anymore. He kissed me then. Deep and claiming and desperate. I kissed him back with equal intensity, months of grief and loneliness and fear pouring into that connection. When we finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dante rested his forehead against mine. Stay tonight, he whispered. Just sleep. I just want to hold you. Make sure you're real. So I stayed. And for one night, wrapped in Dante Russo's arms, I felt safe. Protected. Cherished. I should have known it wouldn't last. The call came at 3 a.m. Dante's phone ringing, shattering our sleep. He answered immediately, his voice sharp. What? I watched his expression change, from sleepy to alert to absolutely murderous. When? A pause. How many? Another pause. I'm on my way. He was out of bed, pulling on clothes. I have to go. Stay here. Don't leave this apartment. What happened? Victor grabbed one of my guys. Sending me a message. He strapped on a shoulder holster, actually seeing the gun made this nightmarishly real. This is my fault. I pushed too hard trying to help Jasmine. Now he's escalating. Dante. He kissed me hard and fast. Lock the door behind me. Don't open it for anyone but Rosa. I'll call you when I can. Then he was gone. I sat in his massive bed, shaking, understanding for the first time what it really meant to be with someone like Dante. This wasn't romance. This was war. And I'd put myself right in the middle of it. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Don't answer unknown numbers, every instinct screamed. But what if it was about Jasmine? About Tyler? I answered. Hello. Nurse Naomi. The voice was heavily accented, cold. I am Viktor Volkov. We need to talk about your boyfriend's interference in my business. Ice flooded my veins. I don't. Don't insult me with lies. You are Dante Russo's woman. This makes you my leverage. He chuckled, a sound like breaking bones. Your friend Jasmine owes me $40,000. But I am reasonable man. I offer you deal. What deal? You come work off debt. 6 months in one of my establishments. Serving drinks, entertaining guests. Nothing you would not do anyway, yes? Keeps your friend safe. Keeps you alive. Everyone happy. My stomach rolled. Entertaining guests in a Volkov establishment meant things I wouldn't do for any amount of money. No, I said firmly. Then your friend dies. Your brother too, I think. Maybe even you. Dante cannot protect everyone all the time. He paused. You have 24 hours to decide. I will call again. Answer, or your friend learns what happens to girls who don't pay debts. He hung up. I sat frozen, phone in my shaking hand. Then I was calling Dante. Naomi. Are you okay? Victor called me. He offered me a deal. Work off Jasmine's debt for 6 months. Silence. Then Dante's voice, so cold it scared me. What did you tell him? No, obviously. Good. Don't answer if he calls again. I'm ending this. Tonight. Dante, don't do anything. He threatened you. He offered to traffic you. He's dead. The absolute certainty in his voice made me shiver. I gave him chances. I tried to negotiate. Now he crossed the line that can't be uncrossed. If you kill him, won't that start a war? The war started the moment he said your name. A pause. I'll call you when it's done. I love you, Naomi. I should have said it before. I love you, and I'm going to keep you safe. No matter what it costs. He hung up before I could respond. I love you too, I thought. but I couldn't say it to a dial tone. The next 12 hours were the longest of my life. Rosa came to the apartment, her face pale, and sat with me in silence. She knew what was happening. We both did. My phone rang constantly. Jasmine, frantic, saying armed men had come to the brownstone and taken Tyler. Unknown numbers I didn't answer. Maya from the hospital, worried because I'd called in sick. And then, finally, Dante. "It's done," he said, his voice hoarse. "Victor's dead. Tyler's safe, I have him. He wasn't hurt. It was just intimidation tactics. And you? Are you hurt?" "Nothing that won't heal." A pause. "I need you to listen carefully. Victor's death means the Volkov organization will retaliate. It might take days, might take weeks, but they'll come for me. For my people. Possibly for you. So what do we do? You have a choice. You can leave. Take Jasmine and Tyler and disappear. I'll set you up somewhere safe, new identities, enough money to start over. You'll be free of this world and the danger that comes with me." My heart stopped. "What's the other option?" "You stay. You accept that being with me means living with security, with constant threat, with knowing that people might try to hurt you to get to me. It means looking over your shoulder for the rest of your life. It means accepting that I'm a violent man who does violent things to protect what's mine. But I'd have you. You'd have me. All of me. Forever, if you want it." I thought about the past 2 weeks. The fear, yes. The danger, absolutely. But also the feeling of being cherished. Protected. Seen. The way Dante looked at me like I hung the moon. The way he honored his daughter's memory by helping other sick children. The way he'd risked a war to protect my friend. "I'm not built for safe," I said finally. "I'm a trauma nurse in an inner-city ER. I run toward danger for a living. I think I can handle being with you." His exhale was shaky. "You're sure?" "I'm terrified. But I'm sure." "Then come home. Let me hold you. Let me prove I'm worth the risk." 6 months later ***. The community center in Dorchester wasn't much to look at from the outside. But inside, 40 kids had a safe place to go after school. A place with tutoring, sports, art programs, and, thanks to an anonymous donation from the Russo Foundation, 3 full-time counselors specializing in trauma and addiction. Tyler worked there part-time while finishing his degree in social work. Turned out almost dying had given him clarity about what mattered. Dr. Chen said he was doing remarkably well, though he'd probably struggle with guilt for years. Jasmine had been sober from gambling for 5 months. She attended meetings twice a week and had become a sponsor for 2 other women struggling with addiction. She'd also started dating one of Dante's accountants, a nice guy named Marcus who did legitimate work and made her laugh. And me. I still worked at the hospital, still lived with armed guards shadowing me, still dealt with suspicious looks from people who'd figured out who I was dating. But I'd also learned something important. People aren't simple. They're not just good or bad. Dante ran criminal enterprises, yes. He'd killed people, yes. But he also funded cancer research, protected vulnerable people, and loved his daughters so much he'd turned his grief into helping other children survive what she couldn't. Was that enough to redeem him? I didn't know. Wasn't sure redemption even worked that way. But I knew he was trying. Knew he was slowly moving money into legitimate businesses, slowly reducing his involvement in the illegal operations, slowly becoming the man Sophia had asked him to be. And I knew I loved him. Fiercely, completely, with full knowledge of what he was and what he'd done. "You're thinking too hard again," Dante said, wrapping his arms around me from behind. We stood in our bedroom, looking out over the city. Just reflecting. It's been a hell of a 6 months. Regret any of it? I turned in his arms. Not even a little bit. You. Only that it took losing Sophia to make me into someone worth knowing. Wish I'd been this man when she was alive. She knows. Wherever she is, she knows. I kissed him softly. And she's proud of her dad. His eyes shone with unshed tears. I'm having her garden finished next week. At the Children's Hospital. The Sophia Russo Memorial Butterfly Garden. Somewhere for families to find peace while their kids are sick. She would love that. Will you come to the dedication? I want you there. Need you there. Of course. Wouldn't miss it. We stood there, holding each other, two broken people who'd found wholeness in the most unlikely place. Outside, Boston hummed with life. The city Dante controlled through shadows and violence. The city where I saved lives one patient at a time. Where our complicated, dangerous, beautiful love story continued to unfold. Was it a happy ending? Not exactly. There were still threats, still dangers, still moral complications I wrestled with daily. But it was real. It was honest. And it was ours. Sometimes that's enough. Thanks for listening to my story. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe to Benny's Romance Stories for more dark romance every single day. Drop a comment telling me what you thought, or what kind of story you want to hear next. See you in the next one, *.